The mic wasn't plugged in. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Might have to restart if you can't. Can you hear me? Or can you not hear me now? The mic wasn't plugged in. Can you hear me now? Stupid cats must have messed with the mic, because I never unplugged this mic. Ever. I never unplugged the mic, so that had to have been my cats. Sorry, I'm actually answering somebody on my video because I did uh forget to mention another conference. Give me 1 second. Multiple things going on, guys. That's what happens whenever you put out a video and somebody comments on it, and you have to answer that, and you're doing a live show, and you're trying to keep up with statistics on your laptop. It can be a bit crazy. So yeah. Well, at least my sound is working now, so that's good. Illinois goes down. Loyola Chicago proves that they're the best team in Illinois. So yeah, good for y'all. Y'all are now the best team in Illinois. Now can you be the best team in the nation? From the way they looked today, they could definitely do it. Alright, so here we go. The games we got going on today. Yes, I did like Arkansas in my brackets. 100%. Let's go to scores real quick. So, I don't have my TV on right this second. So, I'm going to ESPN. Arkansas is not even playing right now. That's 6-10. Baylor's winning, though. Second half just started. And Baylor's in control of that game. So, the next game that's supposed to get started up is actually my team, West Virginia. The line's actually shrunk on that. It looks like people are actually putting money on Syracuse. The line now favors West Virginia by 3.5. I think it opened at like 6 or 7, something like that. So the line is definitely shifting because people are taking those points. They're not necessarily picking West Virginia to win, but they are taking the points because they don't feel that West Virginia will beat Syracuse by whatever the point spread that they saw. Now it's down to 3.5. So let's say you were going to lay a bet on the line and take Syracuse and the 3.5. That means for you to win, West Virginia could still win, but they'd have to win by less than 4 points, basically. So we'll see what happens. A lot of West Virginia fans are actually hoping that Houston loses. I'm not really scared of Houston. If you look at their record, they've lost to some really bad teams. They're really good on offense, but their defense is terrible. I think a Houston matchup for West Virginia wouldn't be bad at all. And Rutgers, one of their big guys, suffered an injury, so I don't know. I don't think Rutgers is going to win that, but at the same time, you know, and right now the line is Houston 7.5. So I think Houston will win that game. But don't let that scare you. You're looking at the seed too much. Don't worry about the seed. I look at the their entire schedule. Houston hasn't really played anybody, especially in their conference. You know, they had a few good wins at the beginning, but then whenever they started conference play, they lost to East Carolina and Tulsa, which are very bad teams. West Virginia didn't have one bad loss. Their worst loss was to Florida, and Florida's in the second round of the Big Dance. So don't worry about Houston. Are they capable of beating West Virginia? Of course. This is the NCAA tournament. anybody that got in is capable of beating anybody. But they're not one of those teams that I would be overly concerned with. In fact, I would probably be more concerned with Syracuse. That zone defense is tricky. We can't rely on kicking out to the three-point line all game long because that's where the zone stretches to. What we want to do is we want to make the zone collapse. So the way you get that 3 open on that 2-3 zone is by hitting jump shots first. And what that does is that makes the that zone start collapsing on that mid-range because that's the soft spot. So start dropping those shots mid-range, and that'll start to get that zone to collapse, and then you can kick it back out for wide open threes. That's how you beat that zone. And the reason why West Virginia had a lot of trouble with that is because usually we didn't have great perimeter shooters. This year we do, but you can't rely on that, especially if you watch the San Diego State-Syracuse game. They tried to rely on perimeter shooting only. Well, if you do that, then the zone will focus on that, and it's not going to be any good. So as long as West Virginia is aware of that and knows how to attack that zone, we are a good enough shooting team to beat Syracuse. And Syracuse isn't all that great of an offensive team. They rely on that 2-3 zone to create extra possessions for their offense. So, yeah, I would actually be more concerned than over Syracuse than Houston. Basketball Legend, thank you for the super chat. Memphis should be in. Yes, I actually agree with that. Whenever I did videos before the committee put out the brackets, Memphis was high on my list. They were in the bubble, but I had Memphis in the first 4 in. The resume, they didn't have a lot of great wins, but they had a good resume. They had a good record, and they were high in a underrated conference. The AAC was underrated this year. They didn't get nearly as many teams as they should have got in. There was really 4 conferences that I thought were severely underrated this year. Number 1, the AAC. Number 2, the A10. I think they were underrated the biggest. So you had the AAC, the A10, Conference USA, and the Mountain West. And I know the Mountain West went 0 for 2 in the big dance, but stuff like that happens. You can't really base that off of anything. Now, like the ACC, who got 7 teams in and only 2 teams got to the next round, that's a little more showing right there. So, yeah, I think Memphis was a product of their conference being undervalued. I think the ACC was definitely overvalued, and I also think the Big Ten was overvalued. I know Rutgers and Maryland and Wisconsin all won, but I don't think that Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan State had the resumes or the record to get in. Wisconsin was right on that tipping point. I was okay with Wisconsin getting in. I thought their seeding was a little high, but as far as getting in, they were right on that cusp to where I was okay with it. And I think the Big East was also undervalued. There was some teams in there. And I've talked about this on my last live show. Next year for the Big East, look out for Marquette and Providence and St. John's. Those 3 teams, I expect at least one of those to make the big dance. And not by the way Georgetown did this year by winning the Big East tournament. I mean, they could still win the Big East tournament, but I'm saying they'll have the resume and the actual record to get into the big dance next year. So watch out for Marquette, Providence, and St. John's in 2021 in the Big East. I think they're going to make a pretty big splash. People forget as far as Loyola Chicago goes. A couple years ago, they had a Final Four team. So this isn't... They're starting to have the same buzz that Gonzaga. Remember when Gonzaga was, oh, man, who's this team? There's this school way out in Washington, and nobody knows about them, and, you know, this is a fluke and this and that. Well, now Gonzaga is a household name because they're so dominant, and they recruit these amazing shooting guards. They are guard-oriented, and they can shoot the lights out. Well, Loyola Chicago is starting to trend in that direction. They're starting to become more of a household name than they were whenever they made their Final Four run. Quick update, Wisconsin's still down by 12. It looks like Baylor's going to win this one. There's still a lot of time left, though, 14 and a half minutes, so can't really close the books on that. Yeah, I think especially how they played against Illinois, Loyola Chicago has a definite shot of getting to the Final Four. That's the team that I'm scared of in our region. I honestly wasn't scared of Illinois all that much. I thought that we actually got one of the easier brackets as it relates to the 1 and 2 seeds. I thought Illinois was the easiest 1 seed, maybe right up there with Michigan, and I thought Houston was the easiest 2 seed. So we still have to get past Syracuse, no doubt. No doubt. We cannot take them lightly. That 2-3 zone is legit. We all know that. I'm just saying, as far as our bracket is concerned, Loyola Chicago is probably the most dangerous team, and they proved it today against Illinois. I thought before they played, I thought Georgia Tech could have been the most dangerous team. I had West Virginia and Georgia Tech playing in the Elite Eight, but that was before one of their leading scorers went down. So Loyola Chicago took advantage of that, beat Georgia Tech, and kind of just reversed roles with Georgia Tech in my head. I basically had the winner of Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech going to the Elite Eight playing West Virginia. And from there, West Virginia getting to the Final Four. And I got a lot of flack for that because people were saying, no, Illinois is getting to the Final Four. Illinois is getting to the Final Four. Like, you're crazy, this and that. And I was like, I just don't see it. They finished the season hot, yes, but there at the beginning, towards the middle of the season, you could see some big flaws with Illinois as far as making a Final Four run. Consistency wasn't there. Loyola Chicago was actually a way more consistent team than Illinois. Really, the only head-scratcher that I can think of for Loyola Chicago was when they lost to Indiana State. That was just a bad game. And a lot of teams do that. But I'm proud of this West Virginia team because we don't have not one single bad loss. Like I said before, Florida was our worst loss, and Florida is in the second round of the tournament. So that tells you that West Virginia has played consistently good basketball this year. At the end of the year, we did lose 3 out of our last 4 games, but 2 of those were to the same team, Oklahoma State. For whatever reason, Oklahoma State became a bad matchup for West Virginia. Now, we beat Oklahoma State earlier in the season, but then Oklahoma State got hot. Cade Cunningham became a household name in the Big 12, and that was all she wrote. So I'm actually hoping that Oregon State pulls off the upset, or maybe Loyola Chicago beats Oklahoma State, because they are just a bad matchup for West Virginia, and they could step in our way to a Final Four. We could get bounced in the Elite Eight if we end up having to play Oklahoma State. Hold on one second, guys. I'm still answering text messages and stuff. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Baylor is still up by 11, so it looks like Wisconsin can't find a way to mount a comeback as far as that game goes. Give me one second. So, yeah, and thank you. I don't think I've seen Basketball Legend in my chat as far as the live show goes, so I appreciate the super chat, bud. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy the show. Yeah, Rice Farrell is kind of agreeing with me on that Oklahoma State is the only team standing in their way. I would have to say Loyola Chicago too. Those two teams are the two matchups that aren't favorable for West Virginia. Can we still beat them? Yeah. I mean, we did beat Oklahoma State once, but they're just not a great matchup for us. Wisconsin has closed the gap a little bit. Let's go into this game real quick. I might try to... Dadgummit, I left the remote over there. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to grab the remote. I'll be right back. I'm still here, just trying to find the right channel. Lesson learned. I should have had it on the right channel from the beginning. Sorry about that, guys. I thought it was going to be on True and or TNT or TBS, but I'm not seeing it on that. Does anybody have a a station for that? Is it on CBS? I'm gonna look for CBS real quick. It's women's. There we go. It's on, yep, it's on CBS. Wisconsin and Baylor is what I have it on. So, let's get on here. I'll be watching it, and then we'll be keeping up with it. So, yeah, Wisconsin trying to make this a game. They're down by 8 now. So you can see the gap right here. Baylor was up by, what, 18 at one point. So they've closed that just a little bit, down to 8. Wisconsin is actually not shooting that bad. 51.4% from the field and 50% from three-point. Baylor right there with them, 48.8 from the field and 53.8 from three-point. So turnovers looks like is what's hurting Wisconsin right now. Uh-oh. My brother's on. Golden Blue Bro. What's going on, man? So if y'all aren't aware, I'm Golden Blue Dude, and my brother, his screen name is Golden Blue Bro, because he's my brother. So he's decided to jump on. Probably to give me a hard time or something. He knows I can handle it, though. Yeah, Loyola Chicago they have a good defense, underrated defense. Oh, Wisconsin just denied Baylor on the cut-in. So that was almost ISO ball, and Wisconsin just swatted it right back in their face. Yeah, I'm on CBS now. We got it. We're rolling. We're cooking with fire now, guys. Cooking with fire. Oh, by the way, my wife is out eating with our girls, and she's going to pick me up something, so I think she's going to call me and get my order. So just giving y'all a heads up, that's going to happen. She's going to get my food. Wisconsin is pumped up. They are now down by 7. They just hit a 3-point. Does Golden Blue Bro make vids? Well, no, he technically doesn't make videos right now, but he does help me. He helped me produce the live show for whenever the brackets came out. He's actually the one that got me started. He's the one that pushed me in. I'm not saying push in a bad way. Like, gave me the encouragement, the nudge that I needed to start these videos. So if y'all enjoy this channel, then he's the guy you actually really need to thank, because probably wouldn't have gotten started without him. Being serious. Wisconsin had a chance to cut it down to even more, but they got out of control. Oh, almost an and one. That was great contact creation by Baylor right there. So, ever since Baylor had those COVID issues, they have actually been looking more human. I mean, they got hot again towards the end, but they don't look quite the same as they did in the beginning of the season. It's not, I don't know. They still look great. They still look like a 1 seed, no doubt. No doubt. But they don't look like the Baylor before they had the issues. So they still need to shake the rest of that rust off. It's like Gonzaga. They didn't have COVID issues, and they've been just, you do not want to play Gonzaga. I know they had an easy conference schedule, but they beat some good teams in the non-con, including West Virginia. And actually, West Virginia scared them the most. But that was back when we had Oscar Tshiebwe. So Golden Blue Bro, my brother, says he's going to start making content soon. So y'all keep an eye out for that, and I'll promote him on my channel. Basically, my channel is his channel. We work together. So however you want to word that, I don't know. Yeah, we need to. That's a good point. We do need to work on a call-in situation. I'm going to talk to Pigskin Pete and Uncle Lou and some of these other shows that already have call-in shows, and we'll get that set up. That's actually, I was thinking of that this past week or so. That's next on the to-do list. We need to get that up and pumping. That's a great idea, actually. Get a call-in show. I like calling into other people's shows, so I would really enjoy having a call-in show myself. I think it would be really, really cool to get other people's opinion. I remember the first time I called into a show, it was actually the radio station over here. You know, you're like super nervous. You don't know what to expect. You're scared you're going to stumble over your words. But once you call in that first time, after that, it's cake. Like, you just... Whenever you call into a show, the mindset you need to have going into it is speak your mind. That's it. Don't try to impress the host. Don't try to spit a bunch of stats, a bunch of facts. Don't do that. All you do, speak your mind. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear what's on your mind. They don't care about, anybody can look up stats and stuff like that. Don't worry about being correct on stats or trying to impress people or anything like that. Just say what's on your mind. Give your opinion. That's it. Not a big deal. Oh, this is a vape. I actually used to smoke, but I quit smoking like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So yeah, that's my nicotine fix. I was a smoker for like, I don't know, 15 years. I was up to like a pack and a half of Newports per day. So yeah, it's definitely better and vaping is getting a lot of crap these days, but if you actually do your research, it's a bunch of bull crap. You see these commercials about the metal going in your system, and that kind of freaked me out. I was like, what, metal? I didn't know about that. So I actually researched it. It's the same thing as what you ingest with regular food. It's below dangerous level, all that stuff. You know, they could do that about regular food. You know, tiny traces of metal, of this and that. I mean, it's everywhere. You can't really avoid that. So, the vape monster that they're trying to create out of vaping is just sheer nonsense. It's not true. Just whenever you see scare tactics like that on TV, always do your research. Maybe sometimes it is true, half true, or totally not true. But don't let commercials, don't let the TV, don't let the news make up your mind. That is what's going on in our nation right now. They're letting the news and other people make up their mind without doing their own research. Whenever you make up your mind about something, just do the research. Look it up. Do diligence. Do due diligence. That's a weird phrase, but it is what it is. Don't rely on other people's information to make your decision. Make your own decision. Mark Rogers is a football savant. What that means is he has almost a photographic memory. He can remember stats and actual plays from a long time ago. My channel isn't more like that as far as, just spitting out facts or spitting out plays that I remember or spitting out stats. Mine is more like opinion from what I see. I do back it up with stats and facts like that, but it's kind of a different focus. But Mark Rogers is really good at what he does. Uncle Lou, he's actually a different genre, I guess you would call it, than what me and Mark do. Uncle Lou is more of a trash talker and backs it up with stats. So you have Uncle Lou, who is a trash talker, backs it up with stats, very good at what he does. And then you have Mark Rogers, who is a sports savant. He can just spit things at you, and he's good at testing you too, to see if you know what you know. And then what I do is I give my opinion and I back it up with stats. I do throw some trash talk in there because it's fun, but each one of us is just a little bit different to where, you're not getting the same thing. You're like, all right, this is getting boring. You can look at one, compare it to the other, and compare it to the other. So it actually works out really, really well. Basketball Legend with another super chat. I appreciate that. That goes straight to the channel. YouTube does not get a penny of that, so every super chat is greatly appreciated. Can you shout me out? I'm basically being the 2 OFU. Yeah, man. Do you have a... My question to you would be, do you have a YouTube channel? And if you do, what would be the name of it? That way, I could shout it out right here live. And I try to shout them out on my videos too. That way, I try to give y'all exposure because, trust me, I've been doing this for a year and a half. Whenever you have a YouTube channel, especially when you're just getting started, it's tough to get traction. So any little bit of exposure is greatly appreciated. That's like I've shouted out Ballard Sports Media. He's a subscriber of mine. His channel is still, I think he just passed the year mark. Chase Me Crazy, which I still haven't subscribed to him. I didn't even know he had a channel until yesterday. So I need to do that today. But he has a YouTube channel. And JCP Sports, he has a YouTube channel. He has more of a backwoods take to it. It's really cool though. He knows his stuff, but it's more like a laid back backwoods type of take. So it's really cool. So yes, Basketball Legend does have a YouTube channel, and it's called Basketball Legend. So go check out his YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. And I don't know if I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, so I don't even think I know you had one, so I'll have to check that out. Let me write those two things down real quick, guys. Stupid pen. Alright, so I got it written down, so I won't forget now. The two, Chase Me Crazy and Basketball Legend. I will definitely 100% subscribe to those channels. And yes, I would appreciate hitting the like button. And I've tried to, the best way I can explain the like button importance is, a lot of people think that whenever you hit the like button, it's for, the ego of the content creator. That's not what it's for. The like button helps YouTube decide whether they want to promote this feed or this channel. So in order for the audience to grow, the more likes you hit, the more it hits that YouTube algorithm, and the more likely it is to get suggested to other people that don't even know this is going on. So that's how the like button hits or helps. And, it doesn't cost anything. You just hit the like button, and then you're done. That's it. And it helps the channel out tremendously. All right, update from my wife. We are eating at Ruby Tuesdays. So I need to Google the menu or see if I want fast food. So yeah, let's let me ask. Hold on. Life is happening right now, guys. So we are trying to figure out what we want to eat. They went to Ruby Tuesday, so I might get something from there. Dadgummit. I haven't eaten there in a long time. I don't even know why she went there. We haven't eaten there in a while. But it'll work. Let's see what we got here. What should I get to eat, guys? What do y'all think? I do like their steaks. They got good appetizers. There's a restaurant here in the upstate of South Carolina called Arnold's. It has some good food. Oh, I love their ribs, though. I really do. They have good seafood, though. Dadgummit. Now I can't make up my mind. I think I'm going to get the ribs. Jumbo shrimp. Yeah, I think I'm going to get to, hold on, guys. Life is happening. I didn't plan for this part, but, you know, it is what it is. Hold on. Alright, I'm trying to get back with you guys again, too. I'm just trying to, I got like three people texting me because I'm asking my son what he wants to, so. Alright, let's see what their response is. In the meantime, let's get back to this. I think I'm gonna get the triple play from Ruby Tuesdays, because I like leftovers too. Whenever we go someplace like that, I want it to last because, you know, that crap adds up if you keep going there. So I like to pile it on and then have leftovers. Joey Foster lives 40 minutes from Morgantown. Yeah, actually, I think we're planning on going to the Texas game. So holler at me. Okay, Basketball Legend, go make a good video and I'll check it out after I'm done with the live. Go do what you gotta do. I know what it's like. And he gave me 2 super chats. I think this was his first time on my live, and 2 $1.99 super chats. So thanks for supporting the channel. That's awesome. Okay, so we're about done with this food thing. Give me one more text and we'll be done. Alright, there we go. I think we're done. Maybe. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're good. He wanted a loaded cheeseburger, so. Alright. So, Baylor and Wisconsin still, looks like an 8-point basketball. No, it's back up to 10. They pushed it up to 10. Baylor going to have to make a big move in these last 3 minutes, or Wisconsin, because Baylor is just not letting up. They're not letting Wisconsin get back in this thing. If there's any time for Wisconsin to make a push, this is it right here. This is do or die. Last 3 minutes. People don't realize basketball is a game of runs. Even today, whenever West Virginia and Syracuse play, whenever I watch the game, even if West Virginia gets up by like 8 or 9, I'm like, but I know Syracuse is going to make a run. The question, whenever you're watching a basketball game, the question is, can your runs be longer than the other team, the other team's run? So that's what wins you the basketball games. If you're not expecting to run and you think it's like really bad, oh man, they're making a run, we're going to lose this game. Don't be like that. Just, watch it with the perspective. It's going to happen. It's just my team needs to have the bigger runs, more runs. That's how you got to watch it. I did a score prediction yesterday. I think my final score prediction was 79-68, West Virginia, something like that. I think Syracuse, they're going to mess the game up. They're going to make it messy. They're going to keep it close. But I think at the end, they're going to have to start fouling, and that's where West Virginia will kind of widen that margin. So the game will actually be closer than the final score, but because of fouling, and West Virginia is actually good at making free throws this year, that's why the margin will be so big at the end. Well, not that big, but, double digits. So it'll seem like a bigger margin of victory than the game really indicated. It's going to be a good game. You can see the line moving. Last time I checked, I believe it was West Virginia 3.5-point favorite. I don't know if it's moved since then. Yeah, it's moved back up to 4. So people are starting to lay the points. So the line is still moving, and we got about 45 minutes before tip-off. So, yeah, that's it looks like people are betting on that game heavily. The line started out at, I think it was 7 favor. It was either 6.5 or 7 favor in West Virginia. It fell all the way down to 3.5, and in the past few minutes, it trickled up. It trickled back up to 4. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Oh, that's cool. Joey says I should have my second cabin finished by July, and I'll put you and your family up for the weekend in there, GBD. All right, hit me up. That sounds like a plan. Might be able to do a live show up there. That would be actually pretty cool. You could stop by and we'll do a live show together. Don't worry. Even if you don't like being in front of the camera, I'm not gonna make it uncomfortable for you. Like if you're not comfortable talking or whatever, that's fine. I'll carry the show for you, but you'll still be there to give your input if you want to. I'll leave that up to you, but don't feel like you have to. I just think it would be a cool thing because I don't see it being done where a channel is able to do a live show with some subscribers whenever possible. You don't want to do it with everybody because then you have security issues and all that stuff. But you can have a live show here and there with your subscribers. So I think that would be a really cool thing if you'd be okay with that. Even if you wanted to just sit there and nod your head, at least you'd be on camera part of the show. We'll have fun. I'll get your input on whatever's going on. Hopefully, West Virginia will have a pretty good hot streak going on going into that Texas game. That would be cool. And I think head coach Neil Brown has this team headed in the right direction. We just got another major 4-star offensive line recruit. So, might have been a transfer. I don't know. But he is really loading up that offensive line. And he knows what he's doing Whenever Dana Holgerson was there, he just relied on, depth at wide receiver and, high caliber transfer quarterback. Well, that's fine, but if you don't have an offensive line, number one, to protect your quarterback, and number two, to make the running game halfway decent, then that quarterback will carry the entire load, and they're not going to do very good. Will Grier could have had a much better career at West Virginia than what he did, but because Dana Holgerson didn't know how to recruit at the offensive line, he just never had the time to do what he was able to do. So I'm very happy at how he's recruiting the offensive line heavily. So I expect our run game to be just as good, if not better, and our quarterback, whoever it might be, to have plenty of time and be able to make, the right progressions. Because whenever a quarterback doesn't have enough time, they can't even make those progressions, and they tend to either take a sack or throw it to the first receiver that was in line, and it gets picked off. So, big time deal that a lot of coaches don't focus on. Offensive line is where the game is won and lost. I know quarterback is the most important position of the team, without a question, no doubt. But where the game is won and lost is on the line of scrimmage. That is a fact. Can't wait for my food now. I'm hungry. All right, Baylor. You know what? I forgot to put in Loyola. All right. Loyola is officially penciled in to the second round. I think Dana is on the hot seat at Houston. The crazy thing is there's a lot of rumors about Washington State trying to get Dana Holgerson up there for their coaching vacancy. And actually, on some of the West Virginia Facebook groups, they said a plane was tracked from Pullman, Washington to Houston, which Pullman is where Washington State is located. It flew to Houston, stayed there for exactly 2 hours. The list of people on the plane was blocked, so nobody could see who was on there. And then it was there 2 hours, and then it went back to Washington State. So a lot of people are theorizing that Washington State is actually interviewing Dana Holgerson. The big thing about that, though, is if Dana Holgerson leaves, he's going to owe Houston a lot of money, especially for this year. I think it was like $7 million, something like that. Not as much as the years go on, but this first year he would owe Houston a lot of money. So I think financially speaking, he at least needs to think about staying one more year if he doesn't get fired. Now, if he gets fired, then Houston would owe him money. That's a different situation. He could actually, he gets fired, they would owe him that money, and he could actually go to Washington State and get more money. So, we'll see how that goes. I don't think he's that great of a head coach at all. Offensive coordinator, absolutely. He knows some great plays, great X's and O's, but he doesn't relate to players all that well. Not a good head coach at all. That's just my opinion. Wisconsin has tried to make this a game, and they have a few times throughout this game. They've cut it down to like 6 and 7, but Baylor has always answered them. It's just a steady flow of back and forth, and now Baylor is up by 13, and they're at the line. It's not looking good for Wisconsin. Not looking good at all. Man, and watching that the dude that just hit that free throw, his routine and approach to the basket as far as hitting free throw, it was like he didn't think about it. He was just, give me the ball, in. Didn't even worry about it. You might be right, JCP, but that was what I heard from yesterday, so I'm not sure about that. So we are currently on a commercial on the game that I'm at, or watching, Wisconsin Baylor, and then after that will be Syracuse and West Virginia. That's, I mean, you're always nervous. You're always nervous when your team's about to play. But I'm not as nervous with Syracuse. I think the next round is going to be a little bit more unnerving because I do think West Virginia wins today. But you can't take it for granted. You can't. That's why they play. So you never know. Syracuse could most definitely upset West Virginia. They have a great defense and they do have some impressive wins on their resume. So we'll see what happens. So now Wisconsin is down by 11. They need to definitely just start sinking some threes to get back in this game, to make any shot of having a chance to pushing this to overtime. Foul and chuck. That's the game plan right now. Foul and chuck. And hopefully, you get back in. Yeah, I think it's going to be out of the South region, I believe. Or Midwest region. I think it's going to be West Virginia and Loyola Chicago. So, I have West Virginia advancing to the Final Four, but Loyola Chicago ain't no joke. And you still have Oklahoma State that they could potentially be playing in the Sweet 16. A lot of great matchups. Still. My light is flickering. That's weird. My light just started flickering for no reason. Oh, Wisconsin fan in the house. I'm glad you can make it, man. It looks like Wisconsin's about to be knocked out, but, they had a good run. They made it to the tournament. They got a good win over North Carolina. Tough. Oh, my gosh. So he did chuck it, and it got stuck. Yep. This has been, okay, Joey, we'll see you later. The reason this has been such a crazy tournament is because of what I said whenever the brackets came out. The seeding didn't make any sense, and in my opinion, they put teams in that didn't deserve to be in, and of course that knocked teams out that probably should have been in. Overseeding, too high of seeding, too low of seeding. From the get-go, this tournament was set up to be crazy. Because I think people put too much stock in the seeding beside the teams instead of the teams themselves. Like Tennessee, a 5 seed? No. I thought Tennessee should have been in an 8 and 9 matchup. And that's being nice. A 5 seed, that's ridiculous. And on the flip side, Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech being an 8 and 9 having to play each other, ridiculous. I think at worst, Loyola Chicago should have been a 6 seed. Personally, I would have put them as a 5 seed. But I would have been okay with a 6 seed. But putting them as an 8 seed, no. I did not agree with that. Even my own team, West Virginia, I thought they were a 4 seed and Oklahoma State was a 3 seed, but it was totally the other way. Man, Wisconsin cannot make a shot here in the last 30 seconds. They finally make the layup and cut it to 9. West Virginia versus Houston. That's they have similar styles. I actually like that matchup for West Virginia. I think West Virginia has been tested way more than Houston, and Houston has those two ugly, ugly losses against East Carolina and Tulsa, and West Virginia's worst loss is Florida. So I'm actually okay if Houston beats Rutgers. I'm okay with that matchup. I might be a little more scared of Rutgers. Not scared, but, cautious, because they have beaten some really good teams in the Big Ten. They, kind of got hot towards the end of the season, but I do expect Houston to beat Rutgers. I had Clemson beating Rutgers because I didn't think Rutgers belonged, but at the same time, Clemson, they don't have an offense. Brad Brownell is a decent coach, but it's all about defense at Clemson. So if you have a halfway decent offense, you'll beat Clemson. Clemson is not good at scoring. Dad from Wisconsin, mom from West Virginia, so you'll take either. Well, Wisconsin, they got off to a really hot start, and then they went 4 out of 8 in the last 12. So they kind of limped into the big dance. They got a pretty big win over North Carolina, and then, they're getting knocked out by Baylor right now. I mean, they could technically they could still come back. I've seen crazier things, but it looks like Wisconsin will be knocked out. But that's all right. Could be worse. Ohio State got beat by Oral Roberts, and Texas got beat by Abilene Christian, which I did call that. So I'm very happy about that. My brackets were not busted with Illinois losing. I did make the mistake of having Georgia Tech beat Loyola Chicago and then going on to beat Illinois. So actually that busted my brackets more than Illinois. I had Illinois losing in the second round anyway. So, and Ohio State only had them going to like the Sweet 16. So really the only big time bracket buster. Well, I didn't have any big time because after the first live show, the knee-jerk reactions, I only had North Carolina going to the second round getting beat by Baylor. So, now, if Kansas would have gotten beat by Eastern Washington yesterday, that would have been a big bracket buster for me because I have them going all the way to the national championship. So, we'll see how that pick turns out. You gotta feel bad for these kids that, that's the rough thing about the tournament is there can be only one national champion. So, round by round, there's going to be more heartbreak than there is jubilation because even if you won the first game, then you lose in the second round, or you won the first 2 games and you lose in the Sweet 16. The only way you don't have that feeling is if you win the national championship. And actually, the deeper you go, the worse that feeling will be. I was in similar situations whenever I was in high school. One year we got to the semifinals and got knocked out, and then we won the championship 2 years in a row. But it was that feeling of losing in the semifinal that I remember. I actually remember that more than winning the championship. I remember that feeling of losing in the semifinal more. So it's crazy how that sticks with you. Well, at least West Virginia is above Marshall on your list. Marshall's not even on my list. I can't stand them. West Virginia owns Marshall. Sorry, my wife is still messaging me about food. But we got it figured out. We're good to go, guys. But I am pretty stinking hungry now. All right, time to write in Baylor. Alright, so we are 30 minutes away from West Virginia Syracuse tip-off. Yeah, if you're a West Virginia fan, share this link in some West Virginia Facebook groups so we can get more West Virginia fans in here too. Of course, everybody's welcome. Everybody is welcome. We're covering the big dance for everybody. But it's something special for West Virginia fans whenever we're about to play. I think Wisconsin will be back next year again because they're pretty consistent. They were actually the team that knocked out North Carolina. No, not North Carolina, but Kentucky several years ago whenever people had North Carolina as the greatest team ever. Not North Carolina, Kentucky. Whenever they went undefeated throughout the season, and I believe they made it to the Final Four, and Wisconsin knocked them out of the Final Four. Now, Wisconsin did lose in the national championship, but that was a good year for Wisconsin. West Virginia did play Baylor tough whenever they did play that one time. And West Virginia did have a chance to win that game, but, wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be. I'm trying to, give me 1 second, guys. I'm getting this link. That way I can share it to other Facebook groups. And, hold on. I'm trying to take my own advice, basically, by sharing it to some West Virginia Facebook groups. So give me 1 second, guys. Just doing whatever I can. My brackets actually aren't that bad. What was it? I think it was my South brackets because it was Ohio State and I had Virginia Tech. It was my my South brackets at the top that took the biggest hits. So it happens. We're just waiting on tip-off of Syracuse and West Virginia. And right now I'm sharing this link to my West Virginia Facebook groups. I wonder if my brother still... I haven't heard from him. I wonder if he left or something. I know he said he was going to... I know he was going to put out content, so I'm kind of curious about that because I would actually like to see that. That would be pretty cool. I didn't know he was planning on doing that. So I would definitely like to promote his channel. Whatever the name of it's going to be. Alright, still promoting. We have 25 minutes till tip. So, let me finish this off real quick, guys. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. I'm just waiting on my food. That'll make it just a little bit better. Almost done. Almost done, guys. I promise. I'm almost done. Just a couple more to go. I should have done this earlier, but sometimes I don't fully think everything that I need to do through. But, better late than never. I actually didn't know I was on so many West Virginia Facebook groups. And honestly, I'm on one Syracuse one too, so I'm going to promote it there too and see if we can get some Syracuse fans in here. That would be cool to get their opinion. I can't wait for my food, really. That's what I'm really. I know I got the triple play, and it comes with shrimp and ribs, but I can't remember what else came with it. So I forgot what else came with it, so I'll be interested to see what else comes with it. I know it has two sides too, so it's gonna be really good, guys. Really good. Almost like tailgating in my house. I don't know if y'all realize this, but the way this is set up is I have a huge bedroom. Like it's almost like a bedroom and living room setup. So we got the sleeping area over here, and then the rest of this I can use as my studio. So I'm like on the back end of my bedroom, and that's pretty much what I use for my studio. Don't worry, guys. I'm almost done promoting. I am almost done promoting. Almost. Just a few more. Right now, I'm actually listening to the pregame on CBS, and they're talking about Buddy Boeheim. We have got to make sure he doesn't get off for Syracuse. He's the big legit threat, and I know they're thinking the same thing for Miles McBride. So it's going to be a crazy thing to watch to see if one of those two guys can get the upper hand. And a big key to this game is Derek Culver. He cannot do what he did in the previous game. He's got to have a bigger presence, especially in the first half. So I'll be in, and that'll be a key to breaking the 2-3 zone, especially with Bridges. Bridges did great, but I think Culver can have a better game, and I think Bridges can be right there with him. If those two guys, have the game that they're capable of, West Virginia will win this game. I think those two guys are actually the key. I don't think it's Miles McBride or Sean McNeil or Taz Sherman. Those guys help, but in this particular game against the 2-3 zone, I think it comes down to Derek Culver and Jalen Bridges. So those will be the guys that I will definitely be watching today as far as having a good game for West Virginia to have success. And Jalen Bridges, people didn't even realize he was on a tear in the past. I don't know, 5 games. He was averaging 10 points per game and like 8 rebounds, something like that. So he's finally showing his 4-star power. As far as when we recruited him, he was actually a 4-star recruit. and he's starting to show his stars for sure. He is definitely starting to show his stars. So I think I'm done promoting, guys. Let me make sure I got all of them. I think we're good. I even hit up the Syracuse, so we might get some Syracuse fans up here in here and get their opinion. I think we're good to go, guys. Now all I'm doing is waiting on my food. That's gonna be awesome. Give me one. I hate my phone. That's the only thing about trying to keep up with multiple devices. All right, here we go. We're here. So if you're just joining us, we are doing a pregame of West Virginia, Syracuse. All fans welcome. I am a West Virginia fan, but this is my YouTube channel, and I like talking with all fan bases. People that are already subscribed know that, but if you're new to this channel, now you know. So we're talking about West Virginia, Syracuse. Loyola Chicago beat Illinois earlier, so I guess they can claim the title of the best team in Illinois. Baylor, really no problems with Wisconsin. Wisconsin made some runs to make it close, but overall, Baylor didn't have any trouble with Wisconsin. And I would say the game with Loyola and Illinois kind of mirrored that, except for the one seed was on the losing end. So, we'll see about that. Double checker burger with fries in the burger and fries on the side. That's a lot of fries. You like your fries, my bud. Which is not a bad thing. You know what the funny thing is? I'm watching the pregame on the TV, and I've been doing my live show bragging rights at 10 p.m. For the first round and second round simultaneously with my live show on YouTube channel, and they just said a mid-major had bragging rights. I was like, bragging rights, that's the name of my show. So every time somebody says bragging rights, it kind of perks my ear up a little bit. So I think that's a good name for the show, because that phrase gets used more than what you realize. So it's pretty cool. So Wisconsin Fan 100 has a prediction, 76-63. Is that the West Virginia game? And I'm guessing you're taking West Virginia. I like it, because my score prediction is 79-68. I think West Virginia wins by double digits, but it's going to be a close game. And the only reason I think the final score is going to be that wide is because of free throws at the end, because they're going to have to foul West Virginia, and that's how that lead will get expanded. Basketball legend with a third, not one, not two, but third super chat. Who hyped for West Virginia, Syracuse? I am definitely 100% hyped. We are down to 15 minutes. I actually think this is a good matchup for West Virginia. We have perimeter shooters. We have guys that can shoot the jump shot. Even Derek Culver, he can post people up, but he has a good mid-range jump shot, and I think that could be the key to this game. Derek Culver and Jalen Bridges making those mid-range jump shots in the soft part of that zone could open up the rest of the offense and could cause the zone to kind of collapse on them, and then they could kick it out, and that's when our 3 points start getting more open, and we can make those. So when you play Syracuse, you got to play more inside out. Instead of starting on the outside and work your way in, you got to work your way in, start in and work your way out. And we do have the perimeter shooters and the soft spot shooters to do this. That's why I think it's actually a pretty decent matchup for West Virginia. I really do. Because we run a lot of screens, a lot of dribble drive, kicking back out, a lot of ball movement, basically. We don't play a lot of ISO, stuff like that. So I think it's a little bit more tricky for us for man defense. So a zone defense like Syracuse, and I know they run it, just about as well as anybody does, perfectly, basically, because that's what he teaches. But as far as a matchup for West Virginia, I think it's a good matchup. I really do. I really do. And it was actually a bad matchup for San Diego State because San Diego State just has a bunch of three-point shooters. And against that zone, they stretch. That zone stretches. So if you don't have a lot of ball movement, and San Diego State did not have a lot of ball movement, then you're doomed. And we saw what happened. Syracuse waxed San Diego State right out of the building. I was actually kind of surprised at how badly Syracuse beat them. So I saw some West Virginia fans being super concerned because of that blowout win by Syracuse, but it was just because of the mismatch. It was not a good matchup for San Diego State. They didn't have the right offense to attack that 2-3 zone. So I think West Virginia definitely has the offense to attack it. Now, if you would have asked me that last year or even the past 5 years, I would have been way more worried because we were not a very good offensive team at all. We relied on turnovers and pressure. So I would be focusing on, does Syracuse commit a lot of turnovers? How fast do they run the court? Stuff like that. Not so much their defense because, we didn't have the offense to attack that defense. This year is different. We do have the offense to attack it. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to win this game. But it is March Madness. Crazy things do happen, so you never know. You can't pencil it in as a win. They still got to play the game. But what about VCU having to exit because of COVID issues? And hold on. So, what about VCU having to take an early exit because of COVID issues? And that Texas Abilene Christian game almost didn't get played because of some inconclusive tests for Shaka Smart. So, basically, before the game, they were waiting on tests, and that game could have been canceled, and Abilene Christian would have gotten to the second round via forfeiture. I'm actually glad. Number one, you don't want people having COVID, but I'm glad they actually played the game and Abilene Christian got in the second round because they actually beat Texas. So, no excuses. No, we would have beat them if we would have played them. No. You played them, you got beat, and Golden Blue Dude called it. That's why I was happy about that. I like the matchup for Abilene Christian, and you look for these upsets in the first round, and those players are, they go all out, and they force you to turn the ball over. And Texas isn't all that good at not committing turnovers. So I really did just like the matchup. It wasn't, me hating on Texas. I wear my horns down all the time, but I try to let logic control my thinking. Now, whenever it actually happens, yes, I'm going to trash talk. It's going to happen. But as far as actual decision making, I try to use my brain and logic instead of, my fandom. That's when you can really make a fool of yourself. Quickly. Yep, 15 minutes or less can save you 15% or more on Geico, so y'all wasted 15 minutes by not checking out Geico. You're bad. I did my part. I spread the word just now. Oh, I didn't even realize that. The guy for Abilene Christian threw the horns down. That's hilarious. And a lot of people don't realize this is Abilene Christian is actually in Abilene, Texas. So there's this a little area of Texas that was actually happy. A little area in West Texas that was happy. And then the rest of the state of Texas not happy at all. I'm hearing Texas fans asking, for Shaka Smart to be fired. That's dumb. That's the same thing as when y'all fired Tom Herman. That was dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. You're letting emotions control your thinking. If you look at the entire picture, Tom Herman actually had Texas going in the right direction. You just have to have patience. I think Texas football is going to take an immediate dip, and if they get rid of Shaka Smart, not a good decision. Not good, guys. Not good. All right, guys. Before the game gets started, I got to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. By the way, fair warning, whenever my food comes, I will bounce, but I'll come back on later. But I got to get off and eat my food whenever it gets here. Arkansas, Texas Tech. I have Arkansas beating Texas Tech, but Texas Tech looked really good against Utah State. They looked extremely good. Their defense is always good, but whenever their offense is clicking, that team is very tough to beat. They start off with a great defense, but whenever they're clicking on offense, they're almost unbeatable. I'm being serious. West Virginia was able to sweep Texas Tech because our offense was able to break their defense, and they had no answer on offense. But whenever they're having a good offensive day, very, very difficult team to beat. Very. Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if Bob Huggins got his 901 win against Jim Boeheim? That would be a crazy story to be able to tell. 901 came against Jim Boeheim. And if you're going storylines, this could be a very magical year for West Virginia fans. Bob Huggins reaches 900, able to beat Jim Boeheim for 901, getting to the Final Four, possible national championship. If there's any year West Virginia can do it, it's this year. They're not no 5, 6, 7 seed, shocking people. They're a high seed, high caliber team. Very possible. Very possible. You have to take it one game at a time. Beat the next team, survive and advance. And West Virginia is good enough to do that. What's the name of your channel again? Rise? Or is it your name? I get you and WVU Prod mixed up. So many names I try to keep up with. But, yeah, Basketball Legend. He has a YouTube channel. Go check it out, especially if you like basketball. What's the name of it? You see it on the screen, Basketball Legend. Go check it out. Shout out to Ballard Sports Media. Go check his YouTube channel out. Shout out to JCP Sports. Go check him out. Uncle Lou. I know his is already big, but It's a good one. BVD, he has a good one. Pigskin Pete, he has a good one. If you're okay with Miami fans, we got Hurricane T2Y. We got Coach Coop. The Gridiron Guru, I think is what his name. He's pretty good. And then Mark Rogers TV, that's a good one as well. So shout out to all those YouTube channel. I'm gonna write your name down because I don't even know if I'm subscribed to that, man. Rise Farrell is his actual YouTube channel name. I need to spell it right. Alright, so I got 3 names written down so I don't forget. Chase Me Crazy, I'm going to subscribe to his channel. Basketball Legend, I'm going to subscribe to his. And then Rise Farrell. And shout out to my buddy, he's a Pitt fan, but he's one of the good ones. The name of his channel is called Talk is Pitt. So if y'all have a chance, go check him out and give him a subscriber. Just, even if you're not a Pitt fan and you're not really into Pitt, just for support, it helps. Trust me, even if you're not quite into the channel, just to give him some support really helps. And Wisconsin Fan 100, he also has a YouTube channel. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so y'all just type in. I think it's Sorgi or Sorgi. It's either Sorgi or Sorgi Stories. It's a really good YouTube channel, actually. It's basically him and his kid going around experiencing different venues like baseball stadiums, football stadiums, all that stuff. It's actually a really interesting channel. I've checked it out and I've enjoyed it. And I agree with Rise Farrell. Talk is Pitt. He's actually a good person. You can hate his team, and I do. I hate Pitt with a passion, but the dude is actually he's really nice. I'm doing good, Michael Hogg. How are you doing, bud? We're just waiting on the tip of West Virginia, Syracuse, and I'm waiting on my food. So, like I said earlier, fair warning, whenever my food gets here, I'm going to bounce, but I'll be back on later. I'm just really hungry right now. Sorgi Stories. All right, so that's how you pronounce it, Sorgi, but if you go up to doing the actual spelling for it, I think it's Sorgi and then Stories. It's a great YouTube channel. They're just him and his kid going around experiencing different venues. I think right now they're working on baseball stadiums, so it's a really cool thing going on. All right, West Virginia Syracuse is about to get underway. Should I be more nervous than what I am? I'm actually not all that nervous. The line right before tip-off is 4. I'm going to see if it moves any right before the actual tip. Because you better believe people get in bets like right at the buzzer. About to tip off. I absolutely think they could be a Final Four team. I think it could actually be West Virginia and Loyola Chicago in the Elite Eight, and that could be a great game. All right, the line ended at West Virginia favored by 4. Tip goes to Miles McBride, actually, so favorable start. You can see how that defense stretches. Oh, nice. You got to make that, though. That's a good tip, though. They attacked it correctly, but they come up with no points. But Syracuse's offense doesn't scare me, except for Buddy Boeheim. As long as they stay on him, we're good. So it's still nothing. West Virginia. Oh, going for the steal. Oh, that was traveling. Oh, it did get the steal. So there's a little bit of press going on. It's not a full court press, but they're still pressuring the ball. Attacking the... Oh, dude, you got to go up stronger than that. What's he doing? Culver has got to go up stronger. He's trying to dance around down there. All right, Buddy Boeheim just hits the first triple. Syracuse up 3-0. West Virginia is attacking the soft spot correctly. Derek Culver is not converting for whatever reason. All right, bud. We'll see you later. I'm liking the way West Virginia is attacking. Culver is just not converting. Nice trap on Buddy. Nice trap, making him go under. Oh, West Virginia playing some solid defense underneath. Solid defense. Kick it back out whenever you can. There you go. Attack. Attack. Attack, guys. Oh, a deep three. But he gets the rebound. Now they're attacking. Jalen Bridges down underneath. They're just not making the shots right now. They're attacking correctly. They're just not making it. And another three, and he hits it. Not a good start. Dadgummit. Oh, and they're calling a charge on that. Need to settle in, guys. Settle in. Got to settle into it, guys. Settle into it. I look forward to that video, by the way, bud. Man, he just releases so quickly. Got to get rebounds better. Oh, he stepped on the line. All right, so I mean we're attacking correctly. It's just not converting into buckets. We'll see if we can do some kickouts. Back to Miles McBride. Bad passing. Not happy with their ball movement as far as sloppy passing and not being able to finish. Oh! Charge on Syracuse. Wow. I don't know. I think that was favorable for West Virginia. I think his legs were moving, but we'll see. Syracuse still up 6-0. I think West Virginia just needs to see that first bucket go in. That's the key. What was that? McNeil didn't slide when he was supposed to slide. That wasn't on Bridges. That was on, or that wasn't on Matthews. That was on McNeil. Oh, that should have been traveling right there. Deep three. Misses. Good pressure. Good pressure. All right, let's go. Settle in. Oh, that was a good ball fake. He should have pulled the trigger right there. McNeil looks like he's hesitating. Wide open three. Ah, dude, what are you doing? Oh, feeding underneath. Good job. That was good ball movement. That's how you beat that zone. Ball movement. Come on, guys. Move that ball. Syracuse still up 6-2. Oh, tried to poke it. He did poke it. Oh, how's that a foul? At least that's on McNeil and not Culver. Not the start I wanted, but I'm not worried just yet. I think my food's here, guys. So I'm going to jump off here, but I will definitely be back on after I'm done eating. I promise. So appreciate everybody that stopped by. Special thanks to Basketball Legend. He had 3 super chats, $1.99 a piece. So that's $6 that goes straight into the channel. Greatly appreciate that, bud. So y'all go check out Basketball Legend. Legend. He has his own YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Let's show him some support. I'm going to get off here for now, but I'll be back here in just a little bit. So, what am I doing here? Oh, yeah, I'm getting off.